Hey guys, Abner Miranda here. Right out of the box, I'll tell you that this is a video that I've actually avoided doing for some time, and you'll understand why in a minute. When I head out the door, these are the items that I normally have with me. I have my everyday carry 9mm Glock 17 with a pistol light, and I have 2 extra mags and a flashlight. Immediately after the San Bernardino thing, I actually started carrying a shoulder-mounted weapon with me everywhere I went in a bag. I started carrying my Gryphon EDC backpack from US Palm. This is a bag that I've had for several years now, and it's had a lot of mileage put on it. Dynamite bag. And what I started carrying in here is something that has given this video its name. This is SBR Surprise. Alright, so some of you right now are going, wow, Abner has completely flipped. I beg of you, stick with me. This is something that I tried several years ago, and I'll admit, it did not blow my skirt up the first time I tried it. What you're looking at here is $85 for this and for this. You take your Glock, you register it, you turn it into a short-barreled rifle, just as if you were taking an AR-15 and turning it into an SBR. Once you have that done, you can legally add your stock and legally add your grip, and now you have an SBR that is a lot more capable than you would think. One of the things that I didn't like that really made me resist this was I had to give up my light on the front of the weapon to have this grip. This is actually a safety. It folds up and it covers your trigger guard. If you really want to get picky with it, you can actually lock it back. While I'm not a proponent for weapons without lights, if this is your only option to have a shoulder-mounted weapon, then I'm going to take it. This thing isn't inherently more accurate than a handgun is. It's just more stable, which also allows you to recover. Now mind you, once again, those are headshots at 30 feet. If these were body shots, the recovery rate of this thing versus a handgun is amazingly faster. Set up over my shoulder, I've got 4 reactive steel targets. These are the kind that actually fall over when you hit them. I like shooting reactive steel, whether that be the swinging type or the falling type, or even just the type that just stands still and goes ding, 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 ding when you hit it, because within 300 milliseconds of hitting that target, your brain creates a new neural pathway and labels that pathway success. When you shoot paper, you punch a bunch of holes in the paper. Let's say you shoot 10 rounds, and you go down range after those 10 rounds, and you grade it, and you're like, yeah, man, I hit that bullseye 3 times. Which one was it? Was it number 1? Was it number 4? Was it number 10? You don't know. When you shoot steel, and you hear that ding, and you see the target fall, you have now created a new neural pathway, and your brain has now registered to let you know that that motion that you did, just that certain alignment, the elbows, the trigger placement, everything worked for that moment. You got that ding, and without you even cognitively realizing what you've done, you have now created a new neural pathway and labeled it success. Even though you know you're shooting a pistol, you so feel like you're shooting an SBR, an SMG, that your brain bridges that gap, and you find yourself, I mean, you just saw, I think I gave this one 3 shots. I'm not even really sure. I'll have to look on the video later. But in my sights, what I saw was, yeah, it was 3. It was pop, pop. And as he began to fall, I realized, I think I've got one more shot. I tend to aim more for shots that are from here up. For years, I've already known we have a problem with body armor. In fact, you know what? Let's just go ahead and embrace one of the little claims that the anti-gunners like to use. Here is a fact. Unlike their whole claim about buying guns online, here is a fact. You can buy body armor online without any restrictions. You can't buy guns online without restrictions, but you can buy body armor online without restrictions. Now, if you don't understand what I just said, you don't understand the problem. We have a deep, deep problem with our enemies using our own rules against us. And I'm going to talk to the cops specifically. If you're not training to shoot over the top of body armor, then all of you guys and gals need to get together, raise hell with your command staff, and get your SOPs rewritten. Because if you're being trained to shoot people in the pelvic girdle or center of mass, you know what, those days are done. Those days are gone. But there is enough proof positive out there now to help you guys make a great claim for rewriting your SOPs. And if you're not rewriting your SOPs and you're choosing to shoot over the top of body armor, you are going to get thrown under the bus. Here's another point that I totally forgot to make earlier. When working with this and shooting reactive steel that actually falls, you'll notice on that last shot, as I hit the target, what did I do? I tracked it to the ground. How many times have we been taught, have we been told, shoot your target to the ground, shoot the threat to the ground, burn him down, whatever the case may be that you've had thrown at you, but you can't do it because we're always shooting what? We're always shooting paper. These are actually plates that I made with my friends over at RMJ Tactical. They're very small, they're very narrow, they're very short, and what I wanted to simulate was this space right here, over the top of the body armor and around the mandible, so that you're wrecking, because what I'm trying to do is wreck the control lines that run through here. Hydraulic, pneumatic, what is it? Hydraulic, pneumatic, electrical. How do you take out a machine? Hydraulic, pneumatic, electrical. How do I take out the machinery? I wreck the command center. If I can't wreck the command center because the frontal is the toughest bone in the body, how do I wreck the machinery? I destroy the control lines right here in the middle. If I can take out the trachea, the carotid, the jugular, hit the spinal cord, do something to disrupt the machinery, I've disconnected the machinery from the command center. The fight has slowed down, stopped, or permanently ended. The point is, I have stopped the threat. Now, you guys have seen me work a plate rack. I'd say this is about pistol speed. If it were no better than a handgun, it's at least another handgun. Why wouldn't you like it? Why wouldn't you try it? It doesn't cost you anything but $85 at Botach Tactical for this piece and this piece. That's it. $200 for your tax stamp on your Glock. I get that. But in succeeding months, I'm going to be showing you guys some other things you can do with an SBR handgun. For those of you that are thinking about an ALG Defense 6-second mount or the Fab Defense top mount, whatever, don't. I've already tried it. It pains me to say it, but they don't work worth a darn. And here's why. Watch right here. Watch this area right here. You see what's going on? Every time that you wang down on this thing, because you want to have elbows pushed in, and every time that you tighten up and you push down, you're separating that frame. You're causing frame flex. Watch this little area right here. And what I found, I actually found this during zeroing. It got worse when I got sort of a zero at 25 yards and then started working inside. Every time that I brought the weapon up in a hurry, hunkered down, PDW style, and started shooting on the move, I was throwing bullets all over the place. And at one point I turned to my buddy and I said, what am I missing here? Aside from the targets, what am I missing here? I am less accurate with this thing than I am with my handgun. And what happens is, the ALG Defense mount, the Fab Defense, I forget what the other, Zahal I think is the other one, set up on top and your optic sits on top. Well, when you flex, your frame is mounted here to your frame. Your optic mount is mounted to your frame. Well, if I flex this frame and my optic is sitting up here, what is my optic doing? Every time that I do this, my optic does that. And I kid you not, guys, it wasn't like I was missing this much. I was missing this much. This settles down so beautifully every time under recoil. It just settles right back down again. And once you know what your holds are and you recognize that CQC has a certain amount of acceptable accuracy loss written right into it, it's the nature of close quarters combat. You're not going to have the perfect shot. You're going to have a good shot. You're going to have a good enough shot. Take it. Work through the target, move on to the next one. Let's keep working. We are at roughly 20 yards. I have no idea what I'm going to find here. Let's try. Ah, there you go. Where is it, miss? What's cool about this is once you get accustomed to it and you start treating that fiber optic front sight, these are our Frank Proctor sights, our Way of the Gun sights. Once I start treating this fiber optic sight up front like just a floating red dot, I'm able to open both eyes and look more at the threat and just kind of superimpose that red dot out in front. Once you learn your holds, it starts to work very well. Here are some body shots. Edge hit. That's right. If you hit them on the very outer edge of that rim, they fly around really fast. If you hit them on the inside, they tend to flop back at you. I love this thing. Anyways, I've taken up enough of your time. I really appreciate you guys checking out this video. As always, God bless you all. Get those guns out and practice. Have a good one.